Welcome back to PerpDex Daily. I'm Aaron, and today we're going to be covering Hyperliquid, Lighter, and all the PerpDex news. Let's get straight into it. As you can see today, Hyperliquid is trading above $66 today, up about 8%. Lighter sitting around up 1% on the day. The entire market seems to be rallying as Bitcoin's up over 1%. You can see Solana is up 6%. Pump funds starting to rally a little bit near up 4%. Let's get straight into the Hyperliquid news. You can see in the next 24 hours, we're going to be seeing about $1 million worth of TWAP hype buy pressure. And as you can see right here, it's going to be interesting. Will hype be reclaiming $70 and going to new all-time highs this summer? I guess we're going to have to find out. But this is not honestly a ton of buying pressure. But at the same time, it's like how many people are selling. Probably not too much selling pressure as everyone's giga bullish on hype. But as we go to our next Hyperliquid ecosystem page, you can see in the last 24 hours, there's been about $1 million worth of fees. And this is a little normal than lower than usual too. But of course, yesterday was Sunday. Today's Monday. And Sunday is usually a very slow day for markets. All right. Now we're going to move on to the Lighter protocol. As we can see right here, in the past 24 hours, about almost $2 billion worth of trades and about almost $1 billion worth of open interest. Pretty cool stuff going on with Lighter. As I talked about in the beginning, Lighter's price action's been a little slower than usual, but it does look really good. You can see just like Hyperliquid, people are holding and they're not really selling. So that's always what you want to see, more buys than sells. Now let's talk about this tweet Hyperliquid put out a couple days ago. I should have probably covered it, but I missed it, so we're going to cover it today. Take a look at this right here. Hyperliquid has been added to the MAS Masses Investor Alert List. IAL listing does not constitute a ban, enforcement action, or a finding of wrongdoing. The IAL provides a list of entities that, based on information available to MAS, may be wrongly perceived as being licensed or in any way authorized or regulated by MAS. Many large exchanges and DeFi protocols have been included on the IAL. Hyperliquid is permissionless infrastructure. It is not and has never claimed to be licensed or authorized by MAS, and no one should regard it as such. Nothing about the network has changed, and as on other permissionless blockchains, users maintain self-custody at all times and transactions settled transparently and fully on-chain. The Hyperliquid ecosystem remains committed to engaging collaboratively and constructively with regulators and institutions globally into supporting clear, well-designed frameworks for on-chain finance. And that's always what you want to see. I think Hyperliquid, as we talked about, has done a great job in DC with their policy team. Obviously, now they're working with Coinbase very closely, and Coinbase is the one leading legislation in the U.S. for crypto. And now let's talk about some good stuff that happened with Lighter. This happened a couple days ago, but wallet in Telegram. So Telegram's wallet had its biggest trading day in wallet history. 79 million in perps volume in 24 hours, powered by Lighter. And I think, Lighter is a sleeper once again. I think Hyperliquid still slept on, but I think Lighter slept on as well. Lighter's integrated into wallet in Telegram. And I think this application here, wallet in Telegram, can get a lot bigger. Also, there's a lot of interesting things going on. We've talked about it before, and if you watch this and you're a fan of Lighter, you probably know Robinhood's investing in Lighter. Some really interesting things, but take a look at this. Sats recently revealed he is bullish on Lighter. He says, I think Lighter is going to get a Robinhood integration, and Robinhood is going to use them on the back end. Insiders are driving the price up right now because they know that partnership is coming. The guy who runs Robinhood is on the board of Lighter. He's an early investor, and he keeps on saying in interviews, our long-term bet is that TradFi will adopt decentralized rails. And this is kind of the thesis around Lighter, if we're being completely honest, because Hyperliquid has most of the open interest, has most of the volume, and I think where Lighter can possibly get some market share is by having these big partnerships. And, who led Lighter's Series B? It was Peter Thiel's fund. Robinhood is an investor. Robinhood CEO is shielded. LIT is listed on Robinhood as a token to buy, but it has not been integrated yet into Robinhood. And I think, there's a lot of avenues and places where Lighter can get, adopted as the infrastructure. Lighter is also their company. Their headquarters are based in Miami, and Miami's a big tech hub, big crypto hub. So I think if Lighter does actually get adopted into Robinhood, the price could double within really, really quickly. It could happen really quickly. And I think that's kind of my long-term thesis with Lighter. It has product market fit. It makes revenue. But the place where it could probably end up doing a 10 to 20x is if it gets these massive partnerships. We'll have to see if that actually happens or not. All right, now take a look at this. Hyperliquid Foundation reveals 10 mil builder fund. Hyper Foundation has launched a roughly $10 million grant program to support builders affected by the USDA sunset. So if you didn't hear recently, Hyperliquid had to sunset their stablecoin because they're now using USDC as their main pair on the application, which I think was a good move. The funding will cover migration and wind down costs for eligible projects across the ecosystem. Recipients must complete migrations or orderly shutdown by the end of July. And I think this is a good move by the Hyperliquid Foundation. You know, $10 million really is nothing to them. And at the end of the day, there probably was some projects that were affected. So this shows once again how good the Hyperliquid Foundation is with their community. This is why Hype has the strongest community in crypto right now, and they're absolutely knocking out the park. But that's really it for today. Not too much news. If you enjoyed today's show, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and also join the Discord. We have a free trading Discord. Make sure to join it. Hyperliquid and Lighter Enthusiasts, please come in. And also follow me on Twitter at Aaron Solana. So yeah, thank you for watching.